I believe that our role now as intellectuals, as writers, as artists, is to convince the people everywhere that we must look in the eyes. The conflict with Israel did not begin on October 7th. It happened, nobody talks about that. It began 1948. There was a country called Palestine, and the Israeli decided to assault the Palestinians, and there are documented massacres against the Palestinians, and then they had to leave, what they call in Nakba. There is an evidence what happened on October 7 was done by Hamas, and Hamas does exist in Gaza, and there is Israel now committed a genocide in Gaza, but Hamas does not exist in the West Bank. There is no one single Hamas. But Israel is killing people on daily basis and taking away their houses and assaulting them. And Israel is giving the opportunity to the settlers to kill the people without Hamas. So I don't think Israel committed massacres against the Egyptians when I was a kid. They, for example, they bombed a school and they killed the boys and girls. It's a primary school called Bahr Bar. And what did, and they bombed this school after 9 a.m. to make sure that all the students are in the school. And what did the IDF say by that time? They said, we had an information that the Egyptian army is hiding weapons under the school. And does this remind you of, it's the same argument. So I believe something should be fixed if possible. Probably it's not possible. In the ideology of the Israeli politicians and decision makers, because I don't think that October 7 is the reason for this. All the Arab world, every one single person in the Arab world is supporting the Palestinians. Not because they're Arabs, because most of the people who are supporting the Palestinians all over the world, they are not Arabs, they are not Muslims. So it's not a question of religion or nationality, it's a question of humanity. But the Arab rulers have different calculations. Why? Because they learned their lesson from what happened to Saddam Hussein and Qaddafi. Accordingly, they know that if Israel, you should keep Israel happy if you want to stay in power. Accordingly, which is very strange, you have the Spanish government cutting all the relations with Israel. You have the Irish government cutting the diplomatic relation and sending the Israeli ambassador back home. And this was never done by any Arab country. Why? Because the rulers are serving Israel, literally. Why? Because they don't care about their own people. They don't care about their own people because they have a terrible machine of oppression. So he doesn't want to worry about the people. We have in Egypt 100,000 political prisoners. They did nothing, and they have been sent to prison for indefinite time. We have young people who just waved the Palestinian flags, And now they are in prison for 8 months and they are still in prison. And you see what happened to the activists who wanted to cross the border. They were beaten in Egypt. So it is not about when the Palestinians will think about the Arab world. The Arab world is not one single thing. The Arab rulers is one thing, and the Arab people is another thing. Well, I think that the most dangerous thing in what is happening all over the world now is what we call the dehumanization. Is that many people don't think anymore about the people who are different as human beings. Accordingly, you see, for example, in Gaza, the genocide, and you see how the officers of the IDF, they make fun while killing kids. They kill babies and laugh. One of them said, I wanted to kill more Arab babies, but no baby left. So I killed only a child of 12 years, but I don't feel comfortable. I need more babies. You can say this or a bunch of criminals. Yes, of course. But there is something deeper, is that they are pushed, motivated by a dehumanization. Remember when the Minister of Defense, the Israeli, said they are not human beings, they are animals. This is what we call dehumanization. And this is the most dangerous thing to us as human beings. When you think about the immigrants, because they are different, they have different religion, they are dressed in a different way. You think of them as a Western, you think that they are less than you, or they are not really humans. And that's the way the war killed millions of people because of this. I remember I have a novel called Chicago. One of my characters is a professor, white American professor, but he comes from what we call in America the Vietnam generation. So leftist for the civil rights movement, etc. So I had to read about that. I had to read about this kind of novel research. And I found a very, very interesting instruction by the American army in Vietnam to the soldiers. They told the soldiers and the officers who were killing the Vietnamese, when you shoot, do not look in the eyes. And I found this very significant. What does it mean? Why? I shoot a Vietnamese or a Vietnamese family, I don't look in the eyes, because if I look in the eyes, I will see the human being. And if I see the human being, I will never be able to shoot. So avoid looking in the eyes. I believe that's really what we call dehumanization. And I believe that our role now as intellectuals, as writers, as artists, is to convince the people everywhere that we must look in the eyes.